Live from the Bob Devaney Sports Center, KOLN Lincoln and KIN Grand Island present the 1992 Boys State Basketball Finals. Brought to you by your local Case International dealers. And NC Plus, America's down-to-earth seed company.
Get some new blood in the Boys State Championship Finals this year. I'll tell you only one team has won a state championship in the State Boys Basketball Championship. We're getting set for 6 state championship. The Bertrand Vikings and the Shelby Huskies. And now let's turn it over to our viewer. The Bertrand Vikings and the Shelby Huskies. The Vikings have a 20-1 record to play their games in the first state championship. They're from the State Race Conference. But they're two of the championship games for the first time this morning. Worked awfully hard for a long time to get here. Roger David. Travis Bowen. Reggie Davis. And now here are the starters for the Huskies. A 6'2" 6-foot senior number 3. 6'4" senior number 40. 5'11" senior number 40. 6'2" senior number 40.
The assistant coaches are Terry Chaddick and Darrell Gray. The head coach, Terry Fusco. Now here are the Bertrand starters. A 5'10" senior, number 20, Aaron Long. 5'11" senior, number 32, Mike Kraske. 6'1" junior, number 34, Keith Kraske. 6'5" senior, number 50, Tony Davis. And a 6'2" junior, number 52, Shannon Meyer. Ron Kubik is the assistant coach and Steve Ekstrom the head coach at Bertrand. The officials for this game, Jerry Donahue and Bob McAuliffe on the floor. Gary Pence is the bench official.
And there you get a look at our officials for this morning's first state championship game. Those officials, once again, Jerry Donahue, who's from Fremont, and Bob McAuliffe of Hastings. En route to the finals, Bertrand beat Kennesaw 76-61 and then won over Newman Grove, coming from behind 64-60 yesterday. Shelby had a couple come from behind games. They beat Pender in overtime 72-71, and then yesterday came from 22 points down to beat Harvard 76-64. Shelby in black, and it will be Bertrand in white. And calling the play-by-play for this Class C2 state championship, here's Dick Jandel.
Jumping at center for Bertrand, 6'5" Tony Davis. For Shelby, 6'4" Augie Noyd. And the 1992 State Boys Basketball Finals are underway, and Shelby controls the tap to start the ball game. Shelby with a 20-2 record. Bertrand 20-1, rated number 1 all year till a loss to Hershey sent them to number 2 in the ratings. They finished the regular season rated number 2, and a traveling call for Shelby turns it over to Bertrand. For the Shelby Huskies, rated number 4 and number 5 in the final regular season ratings, just 2 losses all year to David City Aquinas and Sandy Creek. Bertrand on the attack. Mike Kraske to Tony Davis inside. His shot no good. A follow try is in. No basket. Aaron Long called for traveling. And so now Bertrand turns it over, and the teams trade turnovers to start the game, Jeff.
Dick, we've got a really good matchup inside. Tony Davis of Bertrand, a 6'5" senior. Augie Noyd of Shelby, a 6'4" senior. Watch those two big guys in the middle. Whoever wins that battle just might have their team winning the state championship.
Noyd averaged 18.6 points a game coming into the tournament and had scored 41 in the first 2 games of the tournament as a turnover almost, but not quite, and the first basket of the game put in by Sean Hoosman of Shelby.
Aaron Long saved that ball. A lot of coaches say don't ever save the ball underneath the opponent's basket, but Long did that time, and Shelby got an easy bucket as a result.
So Bertrand now in white with the Kraske brothers inside, Mike and Keith at 5'11" and 6'1", and Bertrand loses it again on the turnover, and Shelby will bring it up.
The Kraske brothers are both excellent outside shooters. They can also run the court very well in transition. The big worry for Shelby is to handle the Bertrand pressure defense. Bertrand really likes to put the locks on their opponents.
Ball stolen away again. Keith Kraske kicks it off for Bertrand, with Shelby leading at 2-0 here. A minute and a half gone in the first quarter of the Class C2 State Boys Championship. And there's the first basket of the game for Bertrand. Tony Davis puts it in to tie the game at 2 apiece.
And an excellent assist that time by Mike Kraske.
And Augie Noyd underneath answers right back for Shelby. And it's 4-2. Shelby Huskies with the lead. Noyd with his first 2 of the game. For Bertrand, Tony Davis has scored 50 points, make that 60 points. 60 points in the 2 games of the tournament, averaging 22.4 coming in. A 3-point goal. 3-point goal for Mike Kraske of Bertrand, our first 3-pointer of the day. And it puts Bertrand up 5-4. 5:56 to go, first period. In the lane, a whistle stops play as Neil Lockman tried to plow into the lane there. Didn't get the basket, but he was fouled by Shannon Meyer before the shot. A common foul, so as you get a look at the Shelby coach Terry Fusco in his 22nd year as the head man at Shelby. His Huskies will inbound under their own goal, and it goes over the half-court mark, but since it was inbounded, it's okay. It's not over and back. Shelby maintains possession. And now a whistle stops play again, and it's knocked out of bounds, and Shelby will keep it.
Shelby's really going to have to be careful on their passes. Bertrand playing a 1-3-1 defense, and it's really tough to pass cross court against that 1-3-1. They can close down the passing lanes real easily.
Justin Smith inbounds for the Shelby Huskies, beating Kinder and Harvard in their first 2 tournament games. In the game against Harvard yesterday, Shelby went down by 22 points in the first half and came from behind to win it. Neil Lockman puts the goal in for the Shelby Huskies, and Shelby takes the lead by 1, 6-5. 5:26 to go, first quarter. A whistle stops play again, and a foul is called again.
You notice one thing that Bertrand really trying to do is get Mike Kraske to get some penetration, and then he's been trying to dish off with a bounce pass to Tony Davis. So that's one thing Shelby will want to try to do, is stop that penetration of Mike Kraske.
For a moment there, you saw Steve Ekstrom, the Bertrand head coach, in his 11th year at the helm. And inside again, Tony Davis scores for Bertrand. And it's 7-5, the Bertrand Vikings in the lead by 1. Ball batted around, finally controlled by Bertrand. Down court to Davis. Here come the Vikings. Now Davis passes inside, and a nice block by Augie Noyd, but a foul is called on Noyd on that play. So Augie Noyd picks up the foul for Shelby with exactly 5 minutes to go in the first period. And Keith Kraske will be at the line.
And these teams, Dick, are not nervous about playing here at the Devaney Center for one of the first times, as Shelby is 3 for 3 from the field, Bertrand 3 for 5. So these two teams both coming out and playing real well. Neither of them have ever been state champions before.
Shelby lost on a buzzer beater to Lincoln Christian in the first round at state last year. Bertrand also here at the state tournament last year, so they've had some tournament experience, but neither has ever won a state title. Kraske misses them both, and Shelby comes down, trailing by 1, but it's stolen away again by Mike Kraske. 2-on-2, he trips, and it's knocked away to Keith Kraske. His shot misses everything, and now a whistle and a foul is called on the positioning for the rebound underneath. It's going to go against Bertrand. Apparently on Aaron Long, they're number 20, and so Shelby will bring it up from backcourt. Coach is saying they expect a scrappy, in-your-face type game, an up-tempo running game. Bertrand averaging 78.9 points a game coming into the tournament. Shelby averaging 73.4. Shot off the iron by Travis Batenhorst, but the follow shot no good for Augie Noyd, and the rebound to Keith Kraske of Bertrand. Ball almost knocked out of bounds, but saved, and now it is saved again, almost stolen again. Shannon Meyer misses. Davis taps it out to Aaron Long. Long getting the starting call in this game over Jeff Van Zandt, a junior who will also see a lot of action in this game and is many times a starter, but Long getting the start being a senior here in the state championship game. Nice drive inside by Keith Kraske of Bertrand, and the Vikings go up 9-6.
Very good penetration that time by Kraske. His first bucket of the ball game. He's kind of off to a rough start, but that could help settle things down for him.
Nice pass inside to Noyd, and a nice shot inside by Augie Noyd. His 4th point of the game, and it's now 9-8. Bertrand leading by 1. Bertrand located generally in south central Nebraska. Shelby located in east central, and Bertrand loses it again. Shelby stealing it away. The two teams shooting pretty well, but they've both had a lot of turnovers. Knocked out of bounds by Bertrand. Shelby will keep it. Our first substitutes of the game, Jeff Van Zandt comes in for Bertrand, and for Shelby, Travis DeWright. Timeout on the floor with 3:26 to go in the first period, and the score in the C2 State Boys Championship, Bertrand 9 and Shelby 8.
Good ball game between the Bertrand Vikings and the Shelby Huskies. Bertrand leading it right now 9-8, but it's been close all the way, and looks like it could remain so, as these two teams appear to be very evenly matched here midway through the first quarter.
Neil Lockman passing to the new man in the game, Travis DeReich for Shelby. DeReich is a 5'11 junior. Underneath, all alone, is Travis Batenhorst for his first 2 points of the game, and Shelby takes the lead back 10-9. Jeff Van Zandt, the 5'9 junior, in for Bertrand now. He has the ball out front, the point guard for the Vikings. Pass goes inside, and traveling is called on Shannon Meyer of Bertrand. You know, Jeff, both these teams lost to Lincoln Christian in the state tournament last year. Shelby was beaten by 1 point on a buzzer beater in the first round, and Bertrand was eliminated by Lincoln Christian by 4 points in the second round. Lincoln Christian, the eventual C2 champion in this class last year. Augie Noyd has it almost batted away, and now Lockman takes it out front. Long shot, three-pointer, was up and in by Travis DeWright, and Shelby goes up 13-9. Another three-point try, this time for Bertrand's Jeff Van Zandt. But this one no good, and the rebound to Travis Batenhorst of Shelby. And Augie Noyd took it in underneath.
What a nice reverse move by Noid. He made the turnaround. We're going to have to take another look at that. Shelby leading Bertrand now 15-9. Noid gets the ball, makes a nice reverse pivot, and then goes underneath the basket as he felt the pressure to make sure it wouldn't get blocked. Watch this move. Now he feels the pressure, goes underneath the bucket. A great use of the basket to prevent a block shot, and Augie Noid now has 6 points, and Shelby leads it 15-9. And Dick, one thing we should note too is a year ago Lincoln Christian in the finals against Grant. That was one of the best games we saw all day. A thrilling game as Christian came from behind in the contest. Shelby, get this, Dick, is 78% shooting so far in the game. 7 of 9. Bertrand 4 of 10. 40%. And the Huskies in kind of an unfamiliar position right now. They lead early in the game.
Yeah. They were down by 22, as I mentioned, in the semifinals yesterday to Harvard, a team with 9 losses, but slapped on a press toward the end of the half and came back to win it 76-64, actually winning it by quite a margin, by the 12 points. In the first round, Shelby needed overtime to beat Pender 72-71. Bertrand beat Kennesaw 76-61 in the first round and beat Newman Grove 65-60 in the semifinals yesterday morning. Okay, Bertrand, the Vikings in white, bringing it up, trailing by 6. Tony Davis working on Noid, and Davis with a nice shot off the glass inside. He now has 6 points. A real good matchup shaping up between Noid and Davis here.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably what Bertrand wants to do, is get the ball inside to Davis as he gets a turnover there, especially with Augie having 1 personal foul right now. Let's see if Bertrand keeps trying to knock it inside to Davis, although you can see Shelby really sagging off inside, helping out.
Shot put up by Davis, no good off the heel. Rebound comes down to Lockman. The Shelby Huskies, Noid, long pass down court. He travels with the basketball.
Nice idea.
A little bit too long on that pass. He just had to go a little bit too far for it. He didn't want to go out of bounds with it. Made a nice catch, but couldn't keep his feet.
And that shows you the hustling that's exemplified by Augie Noid. He's playing defense down on the other baseline, and he's the first guy down the floor. So Augie Noid really getting after it. They've made a switch now. Noid is no longer guarding Davis.
Krasky inside to Davis, knocked away by Lockman, but a foul is called on Lockman. And he thought he got all ball, but the official saw it otherwise. And so it'll be a foul on Lockman, and neither team in the 1-and-1 yet. It will be Bertrand's ball under the Vikings' goal.
It's one of those tough to tell whether Tony Davis was going up for a shot or not. Looked like he was trying to shoot it, but maybe they ruled he was on the floor when he was grabbed on the arm.
Krasky, oh, nice block by Augie Noid. Boy, you can hear that one all the way over here. Shot no good. Rebound to Tony Davis, and Davis bottles it in. 15-12. Shelby leading by 3, and Shelby travels with it. Travis DeReich turns it over for the Huskies.
The one thing that's good about block shots underneath as well is that could set the tone for the rest of the game, that teams will maybe start changing their shots when they're underneath. Davis obviously is probably not going to change his shot much underneath, but the rest of the guys, when they drive inside, if they see Augie, they might try to shoot something that they wouldn't normally have shot, so he could make people alter shots as the game goes on.
Davis misses this time, and the rebound comes down to Sean Hoosman of Shelby with just under a minute to go in the first quarter. The first of 6 state boys championship games. The pass too tall for Batenhorst. And Justin Smith throws it away.
One trouble that Shelby is having, turnovers. They've turned the ball over 8 times already in the first quarter to just 3 turnovers for Bertrand.
3-point shot, no good, knocked out of bounds by Bertrand. And Shelby will bring it up with 43.3 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Sometimes you'll see shooters have trouble getting their bearings here in the Devaney Sports Center. It's such a big expanse here, and that looks like what's maybe happened to Keith Krasky is just kind of having trouble finding the range here. He'll probably heat it up, though, as the day goes on.
We see 2 teams started out in the first round at Lincoln Southeast and then moved over to Pershing yesterday. Nice pass to Augie Noid, but a nice block by Davis. And Bertrand might have the chance for the last shot now here in the first quarter with 23 seconds to go, first period. Oh, Vinzant's going to take it and hit it for three. Jeff Vinzant for Bertrand. Puts Bertrand up 16-15. 13 seconds to go now. Here's Noid. Between his legs. Knocked away. 9 seconds. Vinzant dives, but he's called for traveling. Stopping the clock with 7.8 seconds to go, first quarter.
I was almost going to say to you, Dick, with 20 seconds left, are you kidding? These teams slow it down. They've been getting after it the whole game.
These teams like to move. And they don't have much time now. 6 seconds, 5. Lockman puts it up off the board and the rim. Follow try, Lockman, no good. Batenhorst and Davis comes down with it as the buzzer sounds. That's the end of the first quarter in the Class D2 Boys State Championship, and the score is Bertrand 16, Shelby 15.
Well, the Bertrand Vikings had trailed by 6, but they reeled off the last 7 points of the quarter, including that three-pointer by Jeff Vinzant. And now the Vikings lead 16-15 after 1 period of play.
Bertrand with 3 three-pointers, Shelby with 1. And a whistle stops play again, and a foul is called, I think, on Travis Batenhorst as he works on Tony Davis, and it's a tough chore guarding that guy.
Yeah, it is. Key statistics in that first quarter. Shelby shot 58% from the field to 39% to Bertrand, but 8 turnovers for Shelby and only 3 for Bertrand.
Vinzant has it tapped away by Justin Smith. Bertrand will keep it. Tony Davis with 60 points so far in the tournament. He had 32 in the first round win over Kennesaw, 28 yesterday in the win over Newman Grove. Averages 22.4. Vinzant has it blocked away. Noid comes down 3-on-2. Here comes Shelby. Nice pass to Lockman, and the left-handed layup is good.
I'll tell you what, Augie Noid beat a couple of the Bertrand guards down the floor with the basketball. That guy can run the court.
The lead changes hands again. Shelby now in front. 17-16 as Lockman knocks it out of bounds. Bertrand will keep it. Into the game for Bertrand is Aaron Long. Back in for Jeff Vinzant. There you see him, number 20, 5'10 senior. He started the game. And now comes back in for Vinzant. Bertrand with the basketball. Keith Kraske. Shot off the lip by Mike Kraske. Follow shot blocked. Another follow. No good. And finally it's put in by Shannon Meyer of Bertrand. His first 2 points of the game, and now all 5 of the Bertrand Vikings have scored, and Bertrand takes a 19-17 lead.
A good hustle on the other end of the floor last time by Bertrand. They really got after it, got a couple of offensive rebounds.
Check that, an 18-17 lead. The scoreboard wrong for a minute. Now they change it back, 18-17. Bertrand leading by 1. Shelby facing the Bertrand zone, looking for somebody inside. Now charging is called against Todd Hoosman and Shelby. Player control, offensive foul. And so Bertrand will bring it up from backcourt.
It was his second. It was Shelby's
Second personal foul on Hoosman, 5th team foul on the Shelby Huskies. So both teams still a couple of fouls away from the 1-and-1. Bertrand only 2 team fouls.
Not many free throws yet in the early going here, but a lot of action. Ball blocked away, but Long controls it. Shot no good, and the rebound comes down to Batenhorst. Lockman saves it from going out, and he does step out of bounds. He just about saved it, but just did step on that sideline. And as we mentioned, it's a little bit difficult. First time here in the Sports Center, getting used to that out-of-bounds line. It's not real prominent, and there's a lot of space from the sidelines to the edge of the crowd, and it's easy to step out.
Jared Adkins has just checked into the Shelby lineup, a 6-foot senior. And how about the shot blockers on this Shelby team?
Yeah, they're really playing some defense, boy, I'll tell you. There have been some swats. Davis knocked to the deck, gets back up. Shot put up by Keith Kraske. Noid with the rebound for Shelby. Here come the Huskies. Lockman underneath, tapped away. Now Lockman is going to be called for the foul as he knocks Keith Kraske to the court. So Lockman picks up another foul, and Bertrand will get the ball on the common infraction.
Well, Shelby may have some good shot blockers, but this Bertrand team has some excellent quick defenders. And there's a break in the action. Bertrand leads at 18-17 over Shelby here in the C2 final. There is 5:55 remaining in the first half of this tight E2 state championship. Bertrand with a basketball and a 1-point lead over Shelby.
And Bertrand now in the bonus 1-on-1 situation from here on out. Traveling. Keith Kraske calls for traveling, turns the ball over to Shelby. So the Huskies will have it back. Travis DeReich to inbound it for Shelby. Jared Atkins with the basketball, and he's fouled by Mike Kraske. Atkins is a 6-foot senior.
First foul by 32, Mike.
And there's
Kraske.
Mike Kraske.
13 foul.
With Bertrand's third team foul of this first half, so Shelby has a ways to go before it gets into the 1-and-1. You go into the 1-and-1 on the 7th foul, on the 7th team foul. 18-17. Bertrand leading by 1. Pass knocked away by Davis. And Bertrand will get the basketball. Shelby turns it over again.
Good hustling defense by Tony Davis as well. Both of the big guys on each of their respective teams really like to play defense as well as offense, and that's something the coaches love to see.
Mike Kraske and Aaron Long out front for Bertrand. Inside to Tony Davis. Davis missing the shot. Rebound comes down to Justin Smith. Here comes Shelby. Augie Noyd. Noyd with the hoop.
He really moves strong to the glass. Once he sees that lane in there, Augie Noyd decides, I'm going to take it up strong.
And Shelby goes out in front again, 19-18, as this game continues to seesaw here in the first half. C2 state championship. Ball lost by Mike Kraske, and Shelby gets it back. Another turnover for Bertrand.
Still 1-3-1 zone against put on by Bertrand.
Atkins has it knocked away. Mike Kraske with the ball, 2-on-2. Bertrand will slow it up. Kraske will set up the offense. To Keith Kraske, his brother hits the 2-point try.
Well, there's one that looked like it maybe shouldn't have gone down, kind of hit the front of the rim, but that's something that could get Keith untracked a little bit.
Keith Kraske averaging 17.3 points a game coming into the tournament, and Bertrand has the lead back by 1, 20-19.
There's good quick ball movement, but an excellent steal by Kraske.
And now a fight for the ball, and Bertrand will get it. Good hustle by Shelby Smith, or I should say Justin Smith of Shelby. And back into the game for Bertrand is Jeff Vinzant, number 14, and Aaron Long goes back out. There you see Long and Coach Steve Ekstrom of Bertrand. Mike Kraske bringing it up for the Bertrand Vikings. Leading by just 1 point, 20-19 here in the C2 State Boys Championship. It's been close all the way. Shelby has led by as many as 6. Vinzant called for traveling. And so another turnover. Bertrand loses it, and Shelby will get possession.
Low scoring game for these two teams at this point, and it's mainly because of the defense that's been employed by both sides.
Batenhorst. Travis DeReich around the horn they go, back to DeReich. Batenhorst inside to Augie Noyd. Noyd trying to pass underneath to Atkins. Justin Smith, 3-point goal for Travis DeReich, his second of the game. And Shelby vaults back into the lead now by 2, 22-20. Each team with 2 3-pointers now. Nice block. Shelby gets the basketball. The fast break. Noyd, the nice pass. The shot blocked away by Keith Kraske, but Shelby keeps it. 3-point try. Noyd fighting for the rebound. It's knocked out of bounds by Bertrand. Shelby will keep it.
I tell you, the intensity of this basketball game is like the end of a game. These teams are just really playing tough all over the floor. And there's a break in the action as Shelby leads Bertrand 22-20. Look at the nice pass by Augie Noyd, but then Kraske goes up for the block, both sides of the floor. Noyd, as I've got it, Dick, has 3 block shots already in this basketball game for Shelby.
Shelby on the attack. Atkins will try his first shot of the game. Rebound comes down to Shannon Meyer of Bertrand. The Vikings trailing by 2 with 2:22 to go in the first half of play. Underneath, Tony Davis, hard to stop from there.
That's the thing that I think Bertrand wants to do, is try to get Davis the ball inside. Shelby's sagging off quite a bit, so if the Vikings can hit those outside shots, they could really create some good offense inside for Davis.
The game is tied at 22, but not for long as Augie Noyd breaks the tie. Noyd now has double figures as Shelby goes back up 24-22. That's 10 points now for Noyd.
What an athletic move by Noyd.
And Davis trying to answer back. Tip try no good. Finally the follow put in. And Keith Kraske is fouled. He'll be at the free throw line to try to complete a 3-point play.
Augie Noyd picks up his second personal foul, and not a very good wise move at all for Augie. He had lost the inside positioning to Kraske, and he really probably should have just about given up a hoop there. He almost got him on the back and then did the second time. Sometimes when you're beat, you just got to give it up. And instead, Noyd really contributed to the problems by committing a foul.
And Ryan McMeekin, a 6'5 sophomore, comes in for Augie Noyd. So Noyd goes to the bench with 2 fouls and 1:44 to go in the half. Kraske completes the 3-point play. Keith Kraske now has 7 points. And it's Bertrand back in front, 25-24. The lead continues to seesaw, and Shelby loses the ball again.
What a nice defensive play by Jeff Van Zandt that last time, as he got the turnover and then kept his momentum from going into the backcourt to be called for over and back, saved it across court to one of his teammates.
Bertrand with the basketball. Jeff Van Zandt and Mike Kraske out front. 1:30 to go. Pass too tall for Keith Kraske. And Bertrand turns it over. Shelby will get it back with 1:28 to go in the half.
And at halftime, we will have our Class C2 Coaches All-State team announced. There are 2 players in this game who both made the first team All-Staters. See if you can guess which 2 they are.
1:16 to go in the half. Bertrand leading it 25-24, but Shelby has the ball. The game has been close all the way here in this first half. Mike Kraske knocks it out of bounds, but Shelby will keep it. And into the game for the first time for Shelby, Troy Abbott, number 12, you see him there, a 6'1 junior, replacing Jared Atkins. 1:07 to go, first half. Lob pass inside to the new man that just came in, Troy Abbott, and he gets a rude introduction to the game as the ball is swatted out of bounds by Davis.
A nice job, though, by Troy of going to the basket. He didn't let Tony Davis change his shot at all. Davis got the block, but also picked up his first personal foul.
There's another look at it. They called Davis for the foul, and so Troy Abbott will be at the line for 2 shots.
Maybe some nerves right there as the first free throw comes up way short.
1:02 to go in the first half. Abbott with his second try. In and out. And the rebound comes down to Shannon Meyer of Bertrand. Less than a minute now. 55 seconds to go first half. A shot forced up. No good, but Davis has it blocked by Batenhorst, and Batenhorst is called for the foul. And so Tony Davis will be at the free throw line for Bertrand with 52 seconds to go in the half.
And now that's 2 fouls on Batenhorst as well. So the 4 key big players inside for Shelby, Noyd, Batenhorst, Kuzman, and Lockman, all have 2 personal fouls. So that might be something Bertrand wants to really work on early in the third quarter, is keep pounding it inside.
Davis makes the first. He now has 11 points. He's getting 2 shots. Act in the act. Bertrand up 26-24. And Davis makes them both. Make it 27-24. Bertrand by 3. 52 seconds to go. Stolen away by Mike Kraske. Shot put up. 3-point try. No good. Rebound comes down to Travis DeReich of Shelby. One-on-one, left-handed layup, no good. 40 seconds to go in the half, and the rebound comes down to Bertrand Shannon Meyer.
Last time down the floor, one thing Shelby did not do is move to the ball when they're trying to inbound the ball that time. They stood there, and thus the turnover.
Nice pass by Davis, but the basket no good for Keith Kraske. Shelby gets the rebound with 20 seconds to go. First half of play. Shot put up by Batenhorst, no good. Tap try, no good. Another tap try, no good. 10 seconds to go. Clock still running. Shot finally put in by Travis DeWright. 4 seconds left. Bertrand's got to hurry here. 1 second, and no! Time runs out on the half. That's the end of the first half of play in the Class C2 State Boys Championship. A tight one here, as Bertrand has a 1-point, 27-26 lead. Bertrand led by 1 at the quarter, and now by 1 at the half, as this game has seesawed back and forth the entire first half of play. Bertrand led by Tony Davis with 12. Shelby led by Augie Noyd with 10 points here in the first half of play. And now Jeff Schmall has Shelby coach Terry Fusco standing by.
Thank you, Dick. Terry, this team is going to make you an old man before this state tournament's over.
I tell you, we're throwing the ball away and everything else right now. We have to settle down against that 1-3-1 that they're playing and just pass the ball around, and we'll find an open guy. But I tell you what, Bertrand's really quick, and we're used to throwing some long passes, and they're intercepting the long pass, so we have to shorten up our passes.
Okay, good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Bertrand leads Shelby by 1. We'll be back with the C2 All-State team right after this.
The KOLN KGIN Nebraska High School All-State Team Award is sponsored by Lincoln Telephone.
We are at halftime of the Class C2 State Championship game. The votes are all in, and now here is the C2 All-State team. Leading off the C2 team at guard, Randy Gilson of Maxwell. Randy is a 6'2 senior who averaged a state-leading 29 points per game and 9 rebounds per contest. The other guard spot belongs to John Heckenlively of Kennesaw. John is a 6'2 senior who averaged 19 points and 8 rebounds per game. At center, James Linder of Pleasanton. James is a 6'6 senior who averaged 17 points and 10 rebounds per contest. The first forward spot goes to Augie Noyd of Shelby. He's a 6'4 senior, and Augie averaged 19 points and 9 rebounds per contest. And rounding out the C2 team, Tony Davis of Bertrand. Tony is a 6'5 senior who averaged 22 points and 11 rebounds per contest. The honorable mention players in C2, Lance Groseth of Maxwell, Mike Krajewski of Bertrand, Chad Stengel of Pleasanton, Ryan Axman of Pleasanton, Justin Sixel of North Loop, Scotia, and Jason Evers of Clarks. And that's the 1992 Class C2 Coaches All-State Team. At Pleasanton, and Coach, you've got to play this All-State team, and there's a couple guys out on the floor who made our All-State team.
Yeah, I think this All-State selection this year is a very fine group of kids. They're kind of the hub of their team, but yet the thing that complements them so well is other players around them that these teams can't just key on them, because if they do, these other kids can do the damage too, and that helps these kids to be able to show their wares much better.
What do you think of this ball game going on right now? Pretty good contest.
They're really going after each other like I figured they would be. I think it's going to be a nail-biter right to the very end.
Tell me about your Pleasanton team now. You were ranked #1 in one of the newspaper polls most of the season. Kind of got upset by Kennesaw. I'm sure you wish you'd be down here at State. You were second at State a year ago in this class.
Well, we had a very fine season, and we had a good nucleus coming back from last year when we were state runners up to Maxwell, and then we both moved up to C2. And we really look to have a good season again. And, you know, whether it was an upset or not, we played Kennesaw twice during the year. We beat them one time at their place, and the Heckenlively kid, which was on this All-State team, was not there, and they played us real tough. So we knew it was going to be a tough ball game again, and we just had a very bad second quarter that got us down, but our kids showed their class and the ball club they were, and we came back from 20 points down to go 1 point ahead, and then lost it in the last 14 seconds on a free throw situation. But we had a super year, and yeah, it would have been nice to get down here, but there's only going to be one team come out to state champ, and I think our kids, as well as all these other kids that have played hard all year, got a lot to be proud about.
See any team maybe having an edge here in the second half between Bertrand and Shelby?
Well, I don't know. It looks like this first time I've ever seen Shelby, and they kind of look like they mirror each other. You know, look, they both like to look to their post guys inside, but yet they got the good perimeter people too. So, you know, depending on if one of their guys inside happens to get in foul trouble a little bit, that could make a big difference. But other than that, I think it's going to be back and forth right down to the end.
Okay, Jim Martinson, the head boys basketball coach of Pleasanton. Thanks for joining us, Jim. And we'll be back with more halftime activities right after this.
Shelby leading Bertrand 26, or I should say Bertrand leading Shelby 27-26 here at halftime of the C2 State Boys Championship. Tony Davis with 12 points for Bertrand leading them, and for Shelby, Augie Noyd leading the way with 10. On the halftime stat sheet, Bertrand making just 29.7% of its shots from the field, while Shelby has hit 46%. But Bertrand leading by the 1 point, making 3 of 5 free throws, with Shelby making 0 of 2. Shelby has out-rebounded Bertrand 17-14, and Shelby has had 16 turnovers to 7 for Bertrand here in the first half. Again, Bertrand leads at 27-26 here at intermission, and we'll be back with more of the C2 State Boys Championship after this timeout.
We are joined now by Steve Ekstrom, the Bertrand boys basketball coach. Steve, your team leading by 1, but you're really in a tussle, aren't you?
I tell you, it's everything we thought it would be. It's a defensive ball game. Both teams are getting after each other. They're hitting the boards hard. Pretty physical ball game inside. That kind of favors Shelby a little bit because we're not as big as they are, but we're hanging in there. We're doing our best we can.
Quickly, any adjustments you tried to make at halftime?
I don't think so. The things that we're doing really well, and we just got to keep doing it for 16 more minutes and hope we come out on top.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Thank
Good
you.
luck in the second half, and we will be back with that second half in the C2 State Championship game right after this. What a ball game we have here in the Class C2 State Championship, live from the Devaney Sports Center, where Bertrand leads Shelby 27-26. Shelby had the biggest lead of the ball game late in the first quarter at 15-9, but after that it has been a nail-biter all the way. And here's Dick Janda with the call of the second half.
The team switch ends. Shelby going from left to right now. Bertrand from right to left. Putback is put back in by Sean Hoosman of Shelby. And Shelby goes up 28-27.
And the very thing that Bertrand coach Steve Ekstrom was worried about, that offensive rebounding of Shelby, pays off for 2 buckets by the Huskies.
Same 5s that started the game, starting the second half here as a shot is put up and in by Mike Kraske.
I wondered if maybe Bertrand would be going after Mike Kraske, going to Mike Kraske a little bit more, as there was a foul underneath on Travis Batenhorst, I believe. That will be his third, a big foul too, because now Bertrand gets the ball back. Kraske made a 3-pointer early in the game, and that is his first bucket since then. So maybe they'll try to get Mike involved in the offense a little more.
You can see on the replay, Batenhorst boxing out just a little bit too aggressively right there, and so Bertrand gets the basketball back with a lead of 1 point, 29-28. Long has it tipped away by Lockman.
Nice defense that time by Lockman. Neil, you could tell that he was really looking for that pass, and he got it.
Lockman inside to Augie Noyd. Noyd and Batenhorst inside. Lockman and Hoosman along with Justin Smith. The starting 5 for Shelby. For Bertrand, Aaron Long and Mike Kraske at the guards. Keith Kraske and Shannon Meyer at forwards, and Tony Davis at center. Here's Keith Kraske. 3-point try, no good, but Davis with the follow shot, also no good. Rebound tapped by Noyd, almost saved by Justin Smith, but not quite. He's called for being out of bounds. Bertrand will keep it.
Watch the defense that Justin Smith, number 34, is putting on Kraske, number 32. Smith is really trying to deny Kraske the basketball, and so far he's been effective with it. So even though Justin Smith has yet to score in this ball game, he's doing a nice job defensively.
Jeff Van Zandt is back into the game for Bertrand, replacing Aaron Long. And now a foul called. Van Zandt has started much of the time this year. Long started today. He and Van Zandt have played about equally in this game.
I think that foul was against Augie Noyd, and that will be the 3rd personal on Augie, as he was trying to deny the ball just a little bit too tough against Tony Davis. Nope, they whistled the 3rd on Neil Lockman. The foul went on Lockman, not Noyd.
Davis off the glass. Noyd with the rebound. Lockman, fast break. 2-on-2. He's tripped up. And Davis is going to be called for the foul, tripping Lockman from behind.
That will be the second personal foul on Davis. Kind of a tough call because Davis, as you see, running down the court, and Lockman kind of cut in front of him a little bit and tripped up his feet. But the official saw the trip and whistled a foul.
Shelby is leading 30-29 with 6:21 to go in the third period. And Shelby has the ball. Augie Noyd can't make it go down. Bertrand almost knocks it out of bounds, and now it's saved into the hands of Justin Smith for Shelby. Lockman has it knocked away. Smith gets it back.
Shelby wanted to work on not turning the ball over as much in the second half. See if they can do it.
Nice pass and a nice play by Travis Batenhorst, who gets the basket. And now Shelby goes up 32-29. That's 4 points for Batenhorst. And there's timeout on the court with 5:52 to go in the third quarter. And the score in the C2 State Boys Championship, Shelby 32, Bertrand 29.
The Shelby Huskies have come out tough here in the second half, and they have opened up a 3-point lead over Bertrand. The Vikings had led it by 1 point at the half.
Bertrand has the basketball here. Let's see what they can do with it. Vinzant goes to the deck, and he's called for traveling. Jeff Vinzant tripping up, turning it over. And so Shelby will get the ball back with 5:41 to go, third quarter. Shelby leading by 3 as Lockman inbounds it to Batenhorst. 3-on-2 for a second there. Now Noyd puts it in.
Very fortunate that time by Shelby that the Huskies did not turn the ball over, as it looked like it would be a turnover. Instead, Noyd comes up with the loose ball and puts it in for an easy 2.
Vinzant's shot fills it up. 5 points now for Jeff Vinzant, and it's 34-31. Shelby by 3.
Lockman overplayed defensively that time and paid for it, as Vinzant had the easy shot.
Hoosman can't make it go down, and the rebound to Keith Kraske of Bertrand. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Shelby leads at 34-31. Class C2 State Boys Championship, the first of 6 State Boys Basketball Tournament Championship games today. Kraske, Keith and Mike Kraske, brothers for the Bertrand team. Now Mike Kraske tries it from three-point land. No good, and the rebound to Smith. And now a foul is called as Smith is shaken up a little bit. A foul called on Tony Davis of Bertrand.
That is the third personal on Tony Davis. So just when it looked like Augie Noyd might be getting into foul trouble, he's got 2. Now Davis in a little bit bigger trouble as he has 3. Let's see if Shelby really tries to push it inside to Noyd to maybe even pick up that 4th foul on Davis, the All-Stater.
Long pass to Noyd at the free throw line. Augie Noyd passes off to Smith. Hoosman, I should say, and Hoosman misses it. Davis with the rebound for Bertrand, and the Bertrand Vikings have a chance to cut that deficit again. They trail by just 3. Bertrand trailing. Shelby leads at 34-31. 3-point shot, and that ties it up. Keith Kraske with the 3-point goal, and it's 34-34. 5 straight points for Bertrand, and Noyd underneath is fouled. Is it on Davis?
What a pass by Lockman to get the ball inside. Look at that great pass underneath. No, it won't go on Davis. It'll go on number 22 for Bertrand. That's Roger Davis.
52.
52,
Shannon
okay.
Meyer. Shannon Meyer with that foul. Davis was in the vicinity. He's got to be careful with the 3 fouls, as there you see Sean Hoosman on the bench for Shelby. Free throw good for Augie Noyd. He now has 15 points.
That's the first made free throw by Shelby in this game. They were 0 for 2 in the first half.
Garrett Atkins, a 6-foot senior, back in, and Atkins putback just does miss. That was Atkins with that follow shot. But Bertrand comes back down with it. Trailing by 1. Shelby leads it 35-34, but Bertrand has the basketball. 3:45 to go, third quarter. Vinzant off the rim, and a foul on the rebound called on Justin Smith of Shelby.
Nice rebounding position by Mike Kraske. Even though Kraske is only 5'11", it shows that when you get the position, you will generally get the rebound. Number 22 checking into the Shelby lineup. That is Travis DeRike.
DeRike, a 5'11 junior, replacing Justin Smith. Augie
Maybe a
Noy,
dunk.
he's ahead of the pack. Lays it up nicely.
Probably wise that Augie felt the defensive pressure behind him and just laid it off the glass. Otherwise, I bet the 6'4" senior would have gone for a dunk. I know he can jump.
37-34. Bertrand pulls back within one, though, on that basket by Shannon Meyer. 37-36. Shelby leading by 1. 3:11 to go, third quarter. Batenhorst around to Lockman. Lockman. Holy cow! Neil Lockman with a beautiful baseline drive. He's fouled and will go to the line to try to complete a three-point play.
This was not really a very good shot. Watch, he tries for the reverse, feels the defensive pressure, keeps it in the left hand, and puts it off the glass, and good. What a bucket by Neil Lockman. He has 4 in the game.
Keith Kraske picks up his first personal foul for Bertrand. And Lockman completes the three-point play. 7 points now for Neil Lockman, and Shelby has taken a 40-36 lead. And now a foul called on Travis DeRike of Shelby, number 22.
One thing that could be in Shelby's favor in a close game down the stretch is the Huskies have a senior-dominated team. All 5 of their starters are seniors. On the other hand, only 2 seniors on the Bertrand starting lineup, and sometimes that senior leadership can really pay off down the stretch in a tight game.
Jeff Vincent out front for Bertrand. 2:51 to go in the third quarter of play. Bertrand trailing by 4. Kraske. To Meyer. Around the horn it goes. Vincent for 3. Can't get the roll, and Noyd with the rebound for Shelby. Down court, there's Lockman. Lockman traveled with the ball.
You can see that Neil likes to use the left hand a lot, and that time it cost him. Need to be able to put it up when you're on the right side. Put it up with your right hand. Off balance a little bit. We knew that Shelby wanted to work on turnovers. Terry Fusco very upset at all the turnovers his team had in the first half. In the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds, no turnovers for Shelby, or rather the first 5 minutes and 20 seconds, no turnovers.
A foul called as Tony Davis tries to follow it up. He'll be at the free throw line for 2 shots. As Neil Lockman picks up the foul for Shelby, and that is 4 for Lockman. He's going to have to go to the bench with 2:11 to go in the third quarter. So in for him is Justin Smith. Smith, who also started the game, back in for Lockman. There's Justin Smith. There's Neil Lockman and his coach, Barry Fusco.
That really hurts Shelby because you can tell that Lockman is kind of that spiritual leader out there. He really gets after it and helps create that intensity for Shelby.
Tony Davis with his first point of the second half. He now has 13 in the game. Bertrand within 3. And the rebound to Noyd. Here comes Shelby. Travis DeRike has it kicked by Mike Kraske. So the kick ball by Bertrand, Shelby will keep it.
Well, Dick, we said earlier in the game that whoever won the battle of the big men, their team might just win this basketball game. And right now, Noyd is winning that battle inside. He has 17 points. Davis with 13, and there's a 3-point difference between the teams.
Davis with 12 points the first half. Just 1 free throw here in the second. Air ball for Justin Smith, and Bertrand will get it and bring it from backcourt with 1:57 to go in the third period. Bertrand trailing by 3. Biggest lead in this game has been 6 points very early on. Bertrand led by 6. Or I should say Shelby led by 6. Davis. There's Tony Davis' first field goal of the second half. He now has 6, make that 15 points. And it's 40-39, and Shelby turns it over. Bertrand with the ball, trailing by 1.
One of the first times the entire game that the full court pressure by Bertrand has paid off in a turnover, as we see Shelby having a little bit of trouble with Neil Lockman on the bench, keeping control of the basketball.
Jared Atkins, number 32, into the game for Justin Smith, number 34. There you see the two players exchanging, coming into the game for Shelby. Davis, there's Tony Davis. 17 points now for Davis, and Bertrand has the lead back 41-40. Adkins, Jared Adkins with his first 2 points of the game for Shelby.
That was a big hoop, too, for the Huskies. They needed a bucket to stem that Bertrand momentum.
Vinzant out front for Bertrand with 1 minute. 1 minute to go in the third quarter of play. Three-point shot, nothing but netting for Keith Krasky.
Krasky really had trouble finding his range in the first half, but he's heating it up here in the second with a pair of threes.
And Bertrand goes up 44-42. 45 seconds to go. Another three-point try. No good for Travis DeRike. The rebound comes down to Keith Krasky. All alone down court is Mike Krasky. They didn't see him. Now here comes Vinzant. Vinzant misses it. The rebound to Batenhorst with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. No harm, no foul yet. And now Vinzant misses the layup. 22 seconds to go. DeRike down court to Noyd. Augie Noyd misses everything. 17 seconds to go, third quarter.
Somebody tell these teams this is just the end of the third quarter. It's not the end of the game.
Bertrand with the ball in the lead by 2. 7 seconds. Tony Davis. Davis puts it in with 3 seconds left in the third quarter. And Bertrand goes up by 4. That's the end of the third quarter of play in the C2 State Boys Championship. And your score, Bertrand 46, Shelby 42.
Well, Tony Davis started heating it up inside. He has 19 points in the ball game. And Bertrand outscored Shelby 10-2 down the stretch in the third quarter. And all of those, that occurred when Neil Lockman went to the bench, and he's still on the bench with 4 fouls for Shelby as Bertrand has the ball to start the fourth quarter and a 4-point lead.
A 3-point shot is good for Keith Krasky. Bertrand outscored Shelby 19-16 in the third quarter, and now Bertrand has a 49-42 lead, biggest lead of the game. Bertrand by 7. But Shelby with the ball. Underneath, Noyd. Noyd misses it. Davis with the rebound. Here comes Keith Krasky, 2-on-2. A foul stops play before the shot. A foul before the shot, as neither team is in the 1-and-1 here, so it'll be a common foul on Travis DeRike of Shelby.
I think Terry Fusco might want to get Neil Lockman back in this lineup for Shelby very quickly, because his team is on the verge of really falling into a big, big deficit.
There you see Lockman on the bench with his coach.
Tony Davis for 2 more now has 21. Just when we said that Noyd was winning the battle inside, it's almost like Davis hurt us, and he's reeled off 4 buckets.
51-42, Bertrand by 9, and it's stolen away again by the Vikings. 7 minutes to go in the game. Bertrand with the ball in the lead. Davis hits it.
I tell you, Tony Davis has a smile on his face right now because he knows he's feeling it, and he's filling it up.
Shot is good by Travis DeRike of Shelby.
DeRike is a good shooter. He could be a guy who could help bring Shelby back. He has 8 points in the game, including a pair of 3-pointers.
A foul on the fight for the rebound. And
Shannon Meyer, I think, picked it up as he was moving into Augie Noyd. A shot down there the last time. Tony Davis, I'm sure he just feels like, boy, every time I throw it up, it's going to go in. But maybe a little bit ill-advised as Bertrand takes a 3-pointer from way outside. And the Vikings lead it by 9. They might want to start working a little more clock.
Long pass lost by Noyd. Too tall for Augie Noyd as Lockman is back in the game for Shelby, and timeout is called. Timeout on the court with 6:28 to go in the game, and the score in the C2 Boys State Championship, Bertrand 53, Shelby 44.
We are back to live action. Bertrand opening up a lead on Shelby, and the Vikings have the basketball.
Bertrand taking command here toward the end of the third quarter and in the start of the fourth. Kraske has it knocked away. It'll be Shelby's ball. Shelby with the steal. .6:10 to go in the game. Shelby having to make up a 9-point deficit right now, as Sean Hoosman has it stolen away, taken away by Jeff Vinzant of Bertrand. Here come the Vikings. Just one loss all year. That was to Hershey toward the end of the regular season. Bertrand had been #1 in the ratings all year until then. Finished the regular season #2 in the Class C2 ratings. Shelby rated 4th and 5th in the World Herald and Lincoln Journal and Star. Davis misses this time, and the rebound is Sean Hoosman of Shelby.
Davis has missed his last 2 shots now, and that's good news for Shelby, because if Davis continues to hit, I don't think the Huskies are going to be able to come back from this 9-point deficit.
Lockman to Justin Smith, and Justin Smith gets his first 2 points of the game for Shelby.
Bertrand really sagging off inside on Noyd, but now Augie gets it done with the steal.
Noyd with the good hustle down court. Noyd inside. Augie Noyd puts it in, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
What a great move by Augie Noyd. He's kind of trapped on the baseline. Shows his athleticism by jumping to the other side of the basket. Take a look. Jumps all the way over. Makes the hoop. Is fouled by Keith Kraske. Kraske's second personal. And now Noyd will go to the free throw line to try to complete a 3-point play. And he could bring his team back to within 4.
That's the second foul on Keith Kraske. Jared Atkins back in the game for Shelby, replacing Sean Hoosman. Free throw no good, and the rebound is Shannon Meyer of Bertrand. Davis with the ball for the Vikings, leading by 5 points. Atkins can't make the steal. Now Davis working against Lockman, but a foul is called on Noyd. A foul called on Augie Noyd, his third personal for Shelby. They're working on the ankle over there of Sean Hoosman of Shelby. So Hoosman with the shoe off and a bit of an ankle problem over there.
He's one of the senior leaders on this Shelby team too, so I'm sure the Huskies would like to get him in there down the stretch, maybe just getting his ankle retaped.
Tony Davis with the free throw for Bertrand. 24 points now for Davis. He now has 84 points in the tournament. Games with 32, 28, and now 24 points for Tony Davis. Can't get his 25th, and the rebound comes down to Batenhorst of Shelby. Here come the Huskies. Lockman to Smith. Lockman with 4:30 to go in the game. Lockman, oh! They called it on the defense. It could have been Lockman's 5th foul if they'd have called it offensively, but they called the foul on the defender. Here's another look at it. The foul is called on Shannon Meyer of Bertrand, and Lockman was holding his breath for a little while there.
Yeah, I think they waved off the basket. And so it will be Neal shooting a 1-and-1. They said the foul was on the floor before the shot.
Both teams are in the 1-and-1 for the rest of the game. Lockman at the line, misses the free throw, and Davis comes down with the rebound for Bertrand. The outlet there, but no fast break, and Bertrand holds it up, leading by 6, 54-48, 4:26 to go in the game. Bertrand spurting ahead toward the end of the third quarter. Kraske puts it back, not in though, and the rebound to Batenhorst.
Another good rebound by Travis Batenhorst. That's 2 trips down the floor in a row.
And Shelby throws it away. It'll be Bertrand's ball. Shelby fans and their sideline not liking that call, not to mention the players on the floor, but Bertrand does get it. 4:05 to go in the game. Bertrand leading 54-48. 4 minutes to go. Now Bertrand trying to milk a little clock here, probably, leading by 6. And a whistle and a foul, a blocking foul, called on Adkins of Shelby. There he is, number 32, Jared Adkins. Here's another look at it. Adkins was moving as Kraske moved in on him, and Kraske will be at the line for 1-1.
Kraske with 16 points in the ball game. He's 1 for 3 from the line. He missed 2 free throws in the first quarter, but that's when he was having trouble shooting the basketball. I got a feeling he's going to be tough on these.
No good, but the putback and a foul as Shannon Meyer gets the rebound, and Augie Noyd picks up his 4th personal foul for Shelby.
You don't get positioning on rebounds, and you will pay, and that's exactly what happened to Augie Noyd that time. Didn't get the body on his man, and so inside, Shannon Meyer gets a huge rebound, and even more importantly, Noyd picks up his 4th.
And Meyer makes the free throw. Free throw is so important now down the stretch. That's 5 points for Meyer, and it's 55-48. Bertrand leading by 7, but Meyer misses the second free throw. Here comes Shelby, mile a minute. Shot put up and no good, but a foul is called on Meyer. And Justin Smith will be at the free throw line for 2 shots for Shelby. Smith with just 2 points in the game. And that is the 5th foul on Shannon Meyer, so he fouls out with 3:46 to go. And Jeff Vinzant comes back in for Bertrand. So now both Vinzant and Aaron Long in the game, as you see Shannon Meyer, number 52, going to the bench. He had 5 points in the game. Free throw good for Justin Smith. And it's 55-49, Bertrand by 6.
Justin Smith has been the defensive stopper for Shelby, and now starting to heat it up offensively here in the 4th quarter.
Make it 55-50, a 5-point game, and there is still a lot of time. 3:40 to go in the game. Bertrand with the ball, one of their starters on the bench already, having fouled out. Aaron Long inside Davis. Davis is fouled by Smith. Just the 2nd personal on Justin Smith. And now Davis will be at the line for 1-1.
Well, just when it looked like Tony was perfect from the free throw line, made his first 3. Now he struggled a little bit, making just one of his last 2. And the Shelby Huskies will ice him a bit. And there's a break in the action as Bertrand leads it by 5 in the 4th quarter. Tony Davis at the free throw line for the Bertrand Vikings. Davis has been the big gun with 24 points for Bertrand, and now shoots a couple big free throws and gets the first to earn the bonus.
That's 25 points for Tony Davis. He started out slow in the second half, but really came on strong toward the end of the 3rd quarter when Bertrand spurted ahead to take the lead. Rebound comes down to Travis DeRike of Shelby, and now a whistle stops play, and a foul is called on Aaron Long of Bertrand. Stopping the clock with 3:29 to go in the game. We're going to see a lot of free throws here in the last 3.5 minutes of the game.
And neither team has shot the free throws particularly well here in the 4th quarter. 3 of 6 for Bertrand. Shelby 2 of 4. So it could even come down to a free throw contest. Let's see. Now, number 22, Travis DeRike, if he can nail a couple and get into double figures.
DeRike now has 11 points. And he'll be getting a second free throw right here. Pulls his team within 5. 56-51. Bertrand is leading by 5. But now make it 4. 3:29 to go in the game. 56-52. Bertrand with the lead in the ball. Underneath, Kraske! Keith Kraske with the big hoop for Bertrand, giving the Vikings a 6-point lead again. 58-52 now. 3:11 to go in the game. Rockman playing with the 4 fouls. Cross-court pass. Travis DeRike, double dribble.
Boy, Bertrand has a quick team. Defensively, they're just all over the floor, and they shut down the passing lane so well.
Not hard to figure why they were number 1 most of the season in the Class C2 rating. Long down court pass to Mike Krasky. He'll pull it up with 2:55 to go in the game. Bertrand with the lead by 6. And the basketball. Keith Krasky. He'll shoot it. He'll miss it. And Davis on the rebound is fouled. No, Davis is called for the foul. Davis is called for his 4th personal foul.
That will be the 4th personal on Davis. Tony is not very happy. Steve Ekstrom, the Bertrand coach, is beside himself. And going to the free throw line will be Travis Batenhorst.
There you see Ekstrom, the Bertrand coach, as Batenhorst will go to the line for 1 and 1. And the complexion of the final 2 minutes of this game would really change if Davis had to go to the bench.
Or Noyd.
They both have 4, that's right. The free throw no good. Lockman with a follow shot. No good, and Batenhorst on the rebound is fouled by Long.
Neil Lockman hustling his way to a rebound. A putback didn't go down, but then Travis Batenhorst got the rebound. Batenhorst, a real good rebounder for the Shelby team.
Well, he gets a second chance here in the 1-and-1 bonus free throw situation. He missed a few seconds ago, and he misses again off the heel. And the rebound to the smallest man on the court, 5'9", Jeff Van Zandt for Bertrand. 2:30 to go in the game. Bertrand leading by 6. With the basketball, Long and Krasky. Now Van Zandt. Bertrand running some time off the clock. It's a 6-point lead, and now timeout called by Bertrand. We'll keep it right here with 2:13 to go in the game. Bertrand leading 58-56 in the Class C2 state championship. Bertrand led by 1 at halftime, but went ahead by 4 at the end of the 3rd quarter, and then led by as many as 11.
Well, one of these two teams is sure going to do some celebrating. The Towns, in fact, because neither Bertrand or Shelby has ever won a state basketball title. And in the next 2 minutes and 13 seconds, one of these two teams is going to be crowned here in Class C2. Our game following this one, the D2 final, will match Hildreth at 20-1 against Brady 16-6. Looks like Hildreth might be the team to beat in this tournament, but Brady has been on a roll in the state tournament so far. They upset Prague in the first round, 86-82, and then dropped Llewellyn 67-57. So Brady and Hildreth to follow in the D2 state championship.
And of course, one of the big stories of this year's state tournament, the 114-game winning streak of Wahoo in Class B, broken last night as Ogallala upset Wahoo 84-68, handing them their first loss in 4 years, and Ogallala goes into the Class B finals against Pius. That'll be our final game of the night, tonight at 9. Pius beat Lexington in overtime, 62-59 to get to the State B finals. But let's get back to the C2 championship, and Tony Davis with the basket.
Nice inbounds play called by Steve Ekstrom. Well, one of the signs of a good coach is getting good plays like that after a timeout, and Steve certainly did that.
Big hoop, 60-52, 8-point lead now for Bertrand. Shelby needs a 3, but a 2-point shot put up, no good for Travis DeRike, and the rebound to Davis. Mike Krasky will cross the timeline for Bertrand with 1:40 to go in the game. Davis underneath has it blocked, but he's also fouled by Batenhorst. And so Davis will be at the line for 2 shots, and it's looking good for Bertrand with 1:38 to go now. And Davis, who has been making his free throws, or at least most of them, back at the line.
The one thing, though, that we have learned over the years with this 3-point shot is the complexion of games can change in a big hurry. For Shelby, the only player to have made any 3-pointers so far in the game is Travis DeRike, the 5'11 junior. He has 2 3-pointers, but both came in the first half. And Davis makes the front end of that one, or makes the first free throw, a big one there as Tony celebrates.
61-52, a 9-point lead for Bertrand. And he misses the second again. That's the third time he's made the first and missed the second at the free throw line. Here comes DeRike, Shelby's three-point shooter. Around to Lockman. Now back to DeRike. He's not open. He'll pass it off. 1:25 to go. Batenhorst, DeRike. Three-point shot for Justin Smith. No good for Shelby. And the rebound comes down to Kraske. Baseball pass to Davis. No look to Long. Back to Davis.
Great play by Tony Davis. He gave the ball up, and Long got it right back to him. How about Tony Davis?
Lockman forces it up. Noyd with the putback. Augie Noyd for Shelby. But Bertrand comes right back down. Boy, they're not going into the stall by any means, are they? Davis with the shot. I don't think these two teams have that word in their vocabulary. 65-54, 40 seconds to go in the game. 65-54, three-point rainbow. No good for DeRike. Rebound to Davis, and the action finally stops as Davis will be at the free throw line with 34 seconds to go in the game, and Noyd has fouled out.
Augie Noyd finishes his high school career with 21 points for the Shelby Huskies. And the Bertrand fans are starting to wave goodbye and cheer on their Viking team. And it looks like Bertrand will indeed win their first ever state championship in boys basketball. Bertrand was runner-up back in 1973 in Class C. But now in 1992, the Vikings take home the big trophy.
And of course, last year they made it to the semifinals before getting beat by eventual state champion Lincoln Christian. Davis misses the free throw. The rebound to DeRike. DeRike with the lay-in. That won't go. Baseball pass down court from Kraske to Kraske. 23 seconds. Davis puts it in again. 34 points for Tony Davis. 66-54, the biggest lead of the game. 12 points for Bertrand. Shot blocked and a foul called on Aaron Long of Bertrand.
And with those 34 points, Davis has 15 points here in the fourth quarter. You don't think that Tony Davis came to play in the final period? This guy has carried the Bertrand team on his shoulders, and they will win the C2 state championship.
94 points for Tony Davis in the tournament. 32 in the first game, 28 yesterday, 34 so far today. Now, Neil Lockman will be at the free throw line for 3 shots. He was fouled in the act of shooting a three-pointer. Makes that one. 9 points now for Lockman. 9.8 seconds to go in the game. Rebound comes down to Van Zandt, and whistle stops the clock with 8.3 seconds to go. And it's turned out the lights time for Shelby here as Bertrand has a 67-56 lead, and now the teams are going to clear their bench.
Ironic, Dick, we said at the top of the telecast that whoever wins the battle of the big men would, their team would probably win the basketball game, and that has indeed happened as Tony Davis, 34 points on the afternoon, 21 points for Augie Noyd. So a 13-point differential between those two and an 11-point differential as Bertrand has the lead and will win the C2 state championship with just 8.3 seconds remaining.
Let's see if we can pick up some of these subs. Troy Bennett is going to come in for Shelby, a 5'7 junior. Also Troy Abbott, or check that, Josh Marshall, a 5'10 sophomore for Bertrand, and Ryan McCracken, 5'8 freshman, coming into the game. Follow shot put up and in by Roger David. Roger David gets 2 points for Bertrand, and it's 69-56, and there's the final buzzer of the game. The Bertrand Vikings have won the C2 State Boys Championship with a 69-56 win over Shelby.
And the point differential may have been 13 on the final scorecard, but The Shelby Huskies played a whale of a basketball game, and they had Bertrand it was just back and forth like a heavyweight fight. But Bertrand throws the knockout punch the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter, and they win the C2 state championship. And we'll be back with the trophy and medal presentations right after this. The Class C2 state championship is in the books, and the Bertrand Vikings win it over the Shelby Huskies 69-56.
34 points for Tony Davis for Bertrand. He has now scored 94 points in the tournament, which is a C2 record. The old record was 89. So Davis breaks the tournament record for points in the 3 games of the tournament by 5. As you see, the second place medals being handed out to the Shelby Huskies. Shelby was led today by Augie Noyd with 21 points before he fouled out with 34 seconds to go in the game. Travis DeReich added 12, Neil Lockman 9, Justin Smith and Sean Hoosman and Travis Batenhorst 4 each, and 2 for Jared Atkins. That accounts for the 56 for Shelby, which finishes its season with a 20-3 record. For Bertrand, Tony Davis with 34 points, leading all scorers. That is not a record for points in one game. It misses that by about 5, but he did have a record for the C2 record, that is, for most points in the tournament. 18 points for Keith Kraske. Keith Kraske and Tony Davis, the only 2 players in double figures for Bertrand. Mike Kraske, Jeff Benzant, and Shannon Meyer all had 5 points apiece, and Roger David added 2 to account for the Bertrand 69 points. Bertrand finishes its season with a 21-1 record. Its only loss this year in the regular season to Hershey. And so the first of our 6 state boys championship games is in the books, and Bertrand is our first champion. As you see, the runner-up trophy being awarded to Shelby, also finishing with a fine season, just 3 losses this year. Now let's turn it over to Ed Kimball for the trophy and medal presentations to the champion Bertrand team.
And now for the champions. Coach Steve Ekstrom, we have a special award for you. Now, Steve, will you hand out the gold medals to your championship team members? Josh Marshall. Ryan McCracken. Jeff Benzant. Roger David. Travis Bowen. Reggie Davis. Joel Riggs. Aaron Long. Mike Kraske. Keith Kraske, who scored 18 this morning. Tony Davis, who scored 34. And Shannon Meyer. Now here's the 1992 Nebraska Class C2 State Basketball Champion. It's Bertrand. And here's your trophy.
The Bertrand Vikings win their first ever State Boys Basketball Championship, and they earned it with a 69-56 win over Shelby. We'll be back with the final statistics and get a word with the players and coach of the Bertrand Vikings right after this. The Bertrand Vikings, winners of the state championship in Class C2. The Vikings getting their picture taken down on center court at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. In the final statistics, Bertrand made 33 field goals to 23 by Shelby. Probably the key statistic there, 10 more field goals for Bertrand. They shot 45%. Shelby cooled off a lot. They were up over 70% in that first quarter, cooled down to 41%. Free throws pretty even on both sides. Shelby did out-rebound Bertrand by 7, but the turnover department really hurt Shelby as the Huskies turned it over 23 times compared to 12 for Bertrand. And we'll be back to talk to the winning coach and players right after this.
Bertrand has won the Class C2 State Boys Championship with a 69-56 win over Shelby. Joining us now is Bertrand head coach Steve Ekstrom, with another special guest joining us too. Who's this?
This is my son, Christopher.
Chris, what do you think of all this?
Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat to win a state championship?
Yeah.
A lot of fun, isn't it?
Coach, let's talk about Bertrand winning the first ever state championship in history.
Oh, I'm thrilled to death. These kids had a heartbreaker last year when they lost to Lincoln Christian up by 17 going in the fourth quarter. They remember that, and they've kind of drawn on that as an inspiration for them to finish what they didn't get done last year. And a special part of this trophy and these medals go to some of the team members from last year's team that graduated and couldn't be a part of last year's, what we thought would be a state championship last year. We carried that over this year, so Chad Sharp and Jason High and Nathan Gingenbaugh and all of the other seniors that graduated, this is for you too.
Coach, some of the keys in this game, Bertrand really got hot there toward the end of the third and the start of the fourth quarter was really when the spurt came that probably put you over the top.
Well, those things happen in basketball. No one predicted it. I didn't think, you always wait for something like that to happen, and when it did, it was a godsend because it was nip and tuck from the beginning to right there, and then we squirted out to a little bit of a lead, and we were able to battle and hang on and then extend it at the end. I'm really proud of our kids.
What a game for Tony Davis. We had him for 34 points, 94 points in the tournament, a new C2 record.
I told him when I put his medal around his neck, I said, there's no one more deserving than you to break the record for C2 because he's done that all year. He scored 30-some points in 5, 6, 7 different ball games. And boy, he's shown that he's an all-state ball player and a true champion down here at the state tournament this year. He carried us.
Bertrand, a team that had been #1 in the ratings most of the year, you've kind of carried that pressure along, but you overcame that, I guess.
A little bit of pressure. There, right after our conference tournament, we dropped a game to Hershey out at Hershey, and the kids were really feeling a little bit of pressure about being #1 and coming off the football season we had. And it got to them a little bit, and we didn't play very good ball in that little stretch right there. But then after we qualified for districts, boy, you could just see the pressure lift. And these kids wanted to come down to state and prove what kind of champions they really were, and that not only should we win this year that we were thinking, but then carry over to what we didn't do last year.
All right, Steve, thanks very much. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. And the Arapahoe B connection right there.
All right, and thank you to Chris, too. And we'll be back to talk with the winning Bertrand players after this timeout. Bertrand has won the Class C2 Boys State Championship with a 69-56 win here in the finals over Shelby. Joining me now is one of the victorious Bertrand Vikings, Mike Kraske. Mike, your thoughts about Bertrand winning this first ever Boys State Basketball Championship?
It just feels great. It's something real special for the town, and it goes along with the football one. It's something the town can be really proud of.
Bertrand won the C2 title in football, too. Tell me about winning both of those championships.
Like I said, it feels great, and after the football season was over, we didn't have much time to prepare for basketball, but we just came out with a winning attitude and just walked through, I guess.
And the Bertrand girls team was #1 in the girls ratings a lot. Boy, you guys are really having a year in athletics.
Yeah, we are. Along with the girls, it just, the whole town was into it all year.
Let's take a look at the screen. I think we might have a replay of some of the action from in the game. Oh, we already took a look at Mike. He had 5 points. A big key in this game was that end of the third quarter, start of the fourth, when you guys spurted ahead.
Yeah, we like to come, in the second half, we like to really come out and just try and take charge going into that fourth quarter and so we don't have to fight back like we have a couple times.
Okay, Mike, congratulations to you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's bring in Jeff Van Zandt. Jeff, 5 points in the game. Your thoughts about winning this state title?
It's a great feeling to win football and basketball in the same year, and it just shows you how good athletes we have in Bertrand and how hard we work to maintain excellence.
Now tell me about some of the players on the basketball team that also played football. Who are some of the other players that played football, and what positions did they play?
Mike was quarterback. He was an all-state quarterback.
Mike Kraske?
Yeah. Keith was a running back who had almost 1,000 yards rushing. I was a split end. Aaron Long's all-state running back, had like 1,400 yards rushing this year. Tony Davis was tight end, caught the touchdown pass. Don't forget you, Tony. And Shannon was a tight end too. Everyone that played was on the football team.
So all you guys doubled in both football and basketball. Take a look at the screen right here. Jeff Van Zandt is number 14. A shot right here, 2 of your 5 points in the game. And he had a big three-pointer early in the game, was a big basket too.
Yeah, Mike set me up with the passer well, and I just turned and shot it, and it went in. My first one was just a little short, so I tried to put a little more legs into it, and it went in.
All right, Jeff, congratulations to you.
Thanks.
Okay, Jeff Van Zandt. Now let's bring in Shannon Meyer. Shannon had 5 points in the game. Shannon, your thoughts about having that Class C2 medal around your neck?
Oh, it's pretty sweet, because if we just played together and do what we had to, we could get it, and we did.
Okay, let's take a look at the screen right here and see if we can pick you out. Number 52 in the action here. You remember what happened right there? Nice turnaround jumper.
Yeah, try not to think about it so I don't screw anything up.
You had a lot of rebounds in this game. I would imagine that that's something you really concentrate on is the board play.
Yeah, that's what I work at. Try to get most of my points from that off of offensive rebounds.
All right, Shannon, congratulations to you.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much. And let's bring in Keith Kraske. Keith had 18 points in the game. Keith, you and Mike, 2 brothers on this team that have kind of been leading the Vikings this year, I guess, in both basketball and football.
Oh, it's something special playing my brother. He's always pushed me, and I thank him for that. All those times out in the yard playing one-on-one, it really helped out a lot.
Who usually wins those one-on-one games?
Well, usually split.
That's a good diplomatic answer. Have we looked at a highlight yet? No, here it is. Let's look at Keith Kraske, number 34 in action right here. And I think that was a three-pointer, was it?
Yeah, it was. First half, they weren't falling for me, but coaches just kept telling me to shoot them, and I kept shooting them, and they started falling for me.
All right, Keith, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and let's bring in Tony Davis. Tony, thanks very much. A Bertrand hat here from Tony. 34 points in the game. Your thoughts about how everything went? Just an outstanding game for you.
Well, we came out, and we weren't shooting real well at the start. I think we were 34% at the beginning of the first half, and they were 51. We went in the locker room just knowing who the better team was when we were up by 1, if they're shooting that much more than we were. And we knew we'd take them in the end of the second half, just wear and tear on their bodies. So it's worked out all right.
Tony, take a look at the screen here, and you can see yourself in action. Tony, number 50 right here. You guys kept fast breaking even when you had the lead, and we thought maybe you'd work the clock a little more.
Well, last year in Lincoln Christian game, we up by 17 third quarter in Pershing, and we tried to play a run the clock out type of game, and we ended up losing by 6. They started hitting some shots, and so this whole year we just played not to lose, and we just go to the end of the game. Coach said we had 96 minutes of basketball before we got down here. At halftime, he said we had 16 left, and we went out and played the full 16.
Tony, 94 points in the tournament, a new C2 record. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to the Bertrand Vikings.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Tony, and thanks for the hat. We'll be back with more here from the State Boys Basketball Tournament. The C2 game is in the books. Bertrand wins at 69-56. The D2 title game is coming up in a few minutes, and we'll be back after this.